CIG is about to change medical gameplay forever. With the recent roadmap update for September, CIG divulged a lot of information about the changes to come to medical gameplay. With these changes, it has sparked a huge debate on both Spectrum and Reddit, causing a lot of issues within the community of the changes that is on our doorstep. In today's video, we are going to go over the brand new medical gameplay mechanics and discuss if the changes are beneficial or detrimental to the medics out there in the verse. But hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome back to the channel for another video. You guys already know who it is. It is the biggest bird in the verse, FC, aka Fried Chicken. And I'd like to welcome you guys back to the channel for another video. First off, we need to go over the elephant in the room, which is the changes to the med beds. So I'm going to read over this list to go over the more important keynotes that has been worrying a lot of players that people may have skimmed over. So the first thing we need to talk about is the auto MedGel regeneration. So the MedBed requires MedGel to function, but will automatically restock at a set rate. No one can manually restock this unit. So each medical ship should have their own reserves packed in the back just for certain situations. The next few that are very important that we have to look at is temporary input, regeneration time, and then disabled by distortion. So let's first look at temporary. Your imprint will only last X amount of times after imprinting a cooldown. X amount of time starts before you can imprint there again. Regeneration timer. You may only regenerate at this location once every X time frame. Time is individual to each person. And then probably one of the most important ones that's going to hit everyone is the disabled by distortion. The medical bed has been disabled by distortion damage. Imprint is not lost. You cannot heal or respawn while disabled. So what this means is that you're going to have a timer per respawn, and if your med bed or your ship gets damaged, then you're not going to be able to heal yourself. There are also a few noteworthy ones that we should also talk about, which is going to be respawn by distance. So if you are very far away from your ship, like maybe it's cross system or something like that, you will not be able to use it as a beacon of hope. Also, in armistice zones such as homeworld planets or space stations, you may be charged a small fine to use the medical beds there if you happen to die. But looking at the UEE section of this list, it says clearly that you could possibly get charged. After that, everything else is pretty straightforward and basic. The next major change is going to be the fuel consumed by your med beds in your vessel, which is the brand new MedGel refill canisters. A single MedGel canister holds 200 CSCU of medical gel, or 2 respawns per pack. For respawns, it costs 100 CSCU per spawn, and for any bodily injury, doesn't matter what tier, it costs 50 CSCU per bodily injury. So if you happen to have multiple tier injuries afflicted to your body, expect to go through these canisters very quickly and fast. The next thing we need to address is the actual price of these canisters. Now, there is a lot of mixed feelings about the price, and that is 100K. In my opinion, I do believe that that is a proper price point for these canisters, mainly because they're life-saving. It is literally helping you do the impossible. If you're out there in the field and you happen to go down, you need something to back you up, and that's what this item does. It's important. These medical beds are very powerful and can be life-changing depending on what you're doing in the verse, especially if you're out there running solo dolo type shit. Now here comes something that I'm probably sure is going to happen to the medics out there in the verse. You are now going to be having a expensive commodity in your ship, and most likely you're going to be having a few of them on board as well. So this will automatically make you a target to would-be villains out there who wishes to get a quick cash grab. Now, I did some testing during Friday's live stream to see what happens if you try storing this ship and doing the insurance thing. Sadly, the canister does disappear upon ship destruction. Now, if you get incapped or light death, then you have an opportunity to make your way to the back of the ship next to the terminal to reclaim your MedGel canister. Now, I really wish that escape pods were working, because that would be, an awesome little gameplay loop. You get under attack, you have to escape, you grab the important resources, you hop into the escape pod, and you make your quick getaway. But sadly, escape pods are still not in the game. Now for those who don't pretty much know anything about medical gameplay, things like what each medpin does, or how to use the medi gun, or how to actually use the tractor beam gun as a medical attachment, I have a graph that was set up by MrKraken. Let's take a quick glance at it because it is extremely informative in case you just happen to not know what is going on with medical gameplay. Starting off, let's look at the treatment panel. Now, if anyone who's played the game longer than a month, they're going to instantly recognize what all of these symbols mean and how they work. It's very basic. As soon as you take some damage from an NPC, you are going to get hurt and you have to treat it. There's different tiers to it, which will incapacitate your body the more damage you receive. Let's now take a look at the first aid tools. As everyone knows, which is a huge necessity item for anyone out there in the verse, we have the CureLife Paramed device. Everyone uses it, everyone has it, and people are mad that it takes up the pistol slot. Then we also have the Grey Cat Lifeguard module, which is an attachment that still surprises me today that a lot of citizens in the verse don't actually know how to use. Now, for someone like me who actually enjoys running pistols in the verse, it's not a big issue to use an actual pistol versus the CureLife. Realistically, as some of my org mates say, it's a skill issue, but it is what it is. Now looking at the med pens, I know that this can get a little confusing, especially if you're reading the in-game description because they use a lot of big words and terms that everyone may not know, but let's just go over them real quickly. The red pen is obviously for basic health treatment. Blue pen is for oxygen, that's why it's called the oxy pen. And then we got the yellow pen, which is for obviously radiation. And then we got the gray pen, which is supposed to help reduce your alcohol tolerance. And then we have the orange pen, which is good for your chest and head injuries. And then we got the OP pen, which is good for pretty much everything else, your limbs and stuff. And then the purple pen, which helps you steady up. So if you're like breathing real hard or knocked out, then, pop the purple pen and you should be able to hold your breath better and run faster. Now, the next panel is more or less going to be talking about medical beds. Everyone pretty much knows how they work with the addition of the MedGel packs. That's pretty much it. There are also a few locations that you can use the MedBed at free of charge without having an issue catching a penalty. Now, the last few panels are going to talk about which vehicles currently have medical gameplay enabled, medical beds and other type of resources. And then it also says that medical beacons are still currently broken, so maybe they'll have it fixed once 4.31 actually drops. But as we all know, CIG do what CIG do. But on a side note, I am hosting a giveaway for the brand new light fighter, the Kruger Intergalactic L21 Wolf. All you got to do in order to enter this giveaway is 1, be a subscriber, and 2, comment on any video I posted from August 18th all the way to September 18th for a chance to enter. But that's pretty much it. Let's just recap a little bit over the things that we went over in today's video. Today, we looked at the bar graph that CIG gave to us to study so we can be able to brush up on what is to come in the near future. After that, I talked about the MedGel canisters and how they're going to be used in the future. Now, again, like I said earlier, these canisters only hold 200 CSEU of cargo. So it'll allow you to respawn on any medical bed twice or apply it to 4 separate injuries on your body, just in case you get hurt. And then we also talked about how having these canisters on your medical ship will make you a target. CAG does know that people are going to try to abuse this and pirate you, so as always, make sure you keep your head on a swivel out there in the verse because you never know who is lurking or causing mischief. And then last but not least, we talked about some of the subtle changes that are going to come, and also I informed you about what certain commodities and items for medical gameplay actually does for those who just doesn't understand or may be confused. And boom, that is pretty much it. There are going to be a lot of changes to medical gameplay. We are no longer going to be able to use our medical ships to respawn if we happen to get hurt or injured on the fly. We now have to be a hell of a lot more cautious in the way how we approach things, especially since it's incredibly easy to take damage and get a tier injury. Now, there are some ways how CIG can possibly mediate the backlash that they're going to get for the changes of medical gameplay and the way how medical beds work. They could simply just place more med beds around locations. So for example, if you go to a distribution depot, you may be able to find 1 or 2 more med beds in certain locations. Or the same thing like how they put it in the ASD facilities where you're able to find a medical wing, there's going to be med beds there. Maybe throughout the facility, there's small pharmacies located around where they may throw some more beds as well. We just don't know. All we got to do now is literally just wait to see what CIG does since it's still in development. A lot of things can change because, as I said earlier, CIG do what CIG do. But other than that, please let me know down below in the comments what you guys think, if the whole entire medical gameplay switch up is going to be cool or it's not needed. Let me know down below in the comments. But you guys already know who it is. It is the biggest bird in the verse, FC, aka Fried Chicken. Big Bird out.